Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly M1 Finance portfolio recap for the week ending July 10th, 2026. It was a mixed week for the broader market. Tech stocks continued to show strength amid ongoing AI enthusiasm, while the major indexes faced some volatility from inflation data and Fed commentary. Key events included stronger than expected jobs numbers early in the week that raised rate cut expectations, followed by some cooling in bond yields. NVDA and the semiconductor sector remained in focus, with continued AI infrastructure demand, while energy and financials had more modest moves. Overall, market sentiment stayed cautiously optimistic as investors balanced growth prospects with valuation concerns. It was a week that reminded us how quickly things can shift in this environment. Starting from $243,078.44 on July 2nd, my main portfolio closed the week at $244,315.43. That's a gain of $1,152.70, or 0.47%. We saw a market gain of $996.58. The money-weighted return came in at 0.47%. Not a huge move, but steady progress. By the way, just to clarify the timelines I'm using, for the overall portfolio stats, I'm looking at the standard 10-day chart as M1 lays it out, while dividends received are measured and manually calculated over the 7-day Monday to Friday period. Looking at the 8 slices, NVDA was the standout performer this week, with strong gains driven by continued AI momentum. PLTR was down slightly, which is normal volatility for a high-conviction holding like this one that I'm still very bullish on long-term. Other notable movers included AAPL with solid performance, QQQ tracking the NASDAQ, and VOO providing stable large-cap exposure. Overall, the portfolio stayed well-balanced, with tech continuing to lead the way. Trade activity this week was relatively light but purposeful. On July 6th, in the morning trading window, I executed a $1,000 buy of USHY, the iShares Broad USD High Yield ETF, and sold $1,047.77 of GOF, the Guggenheim Strategic Opportunity Fund. Later that same day in the afternoon trading, there was a $3,100 buy of Main Street Capital, and a $3,137.10 sell of YMAG, the YieldMax Magnificent 7 Fund. On July 10th, there was a smaller $325.28 buy of IWMI, the NEOS Russell 2000 High Income ETF. Several orders were fulfilled throughout the week as part of normal rebalancing to keep the portfolio aligned with my long-term strategy. This week, we received dividends from multiple holdings. Here's the full list of payers and amounts. IRM, Iron Mountain, paid $7.46. JEPQ, JP Morgan, NASDAQ, paid $63.68. QQQY, Defiance, NASDAQ, paid $6.21. Another QQQY, payment of $4.54. JEPQ, paid $2.52. Another JEPQ, payment of $7. JEPI, JP Morgan Equity, paid $9.68. Another JEPI, payment of $13.33. GPIQ, Goldman Sachs, paid $37.73. QQQ, Invesco, paid $12.31. BEN, Franklin Resource, paid $4.81. YMAG, YieldMax, paid $6.38. Vici Properties, paid $19.97. XPay Roundhill, paid $24.93. Another GPIQ, payment of $49.51. MO Altria, paid $21.78. Another QQQY, payment of $5.41. QQQ, Invesco, paid $1.63. and QDTE Roundhill paid $17.38. Adding them all up, the total dividends for the week came to $312.50. It's always nice to see that passive income coming in consistently. Based on the current dividend payouts, the portfolio is generating approximately $14,396 per year. That breaks down to about $1,200 per month, $277 per week, $39.44 per day, and $1.64 per hour. Here's the latest screenshot from Track My Dividends showing a portfolio yield of 5.89% and a yield on cost of 9.8%. These numbers continue to improve as the portfolio grows and compounds over time. That's the recap for this week. Overall, it was a solid week for the portfolio, with steady gains, good dividend income, and some thoughtful rebalancing trades. NVDA continued to carry the momentum, while PLTR stayed true to its long-term thesis despite some short-term volatility. The dividend stream is building nicely and continues to compound over time. As always, the market reminds us to stay patient and focused on the fundamentals rather than daily noise. I'm still very comfortable with the current allocation and the AI-heavy tilt, but of course, I'll continue monitoring closely. You can check out my full transparent portfolio at any time using the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. Drop any questions, thoughts, or your own portfolio updates in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. That's it for this week. Take care, invest responsibly, and I'll see you in the next update. Have a great rest of your weekend.